A lovely time on Atlantic TV is Viewpoint on Atlantic TV, and a lovely time for us to also wish our Muslim brothers and sisters happy Ilul Maulud. Well, it's a celebration and a time for everybody to relax, and that's the reason we're right here with you guys to make your festivity really enjoyable. And we'll always do these every lovely morning. Like I said, welcome. My name is Michael Bobadia.
Yes, welcome to Viewpoint on Atlantic TV, and happy holiday, and thank God it's Friday. You know how excited I am about
double
Friday.
Celebration.
So it's a double celebration today, and I am super excited about all of it. And today we're having the dailies, the dialogue, the news, and trending. Of course, you know how we do it on trending, and today's one is a special edition. You don't want to miss any of it. And of course, you know, you can engage with us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, at Atlantic Media and TV. So this is Mercy Irabo wishing you a happy holiday. So we'll be going on the dailies, but before that, we need to go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Well, yes, the dailies is where we are next, right here on Viewpoint. And for review today, as always, we have 5 papers. We have The Punch, The Vanguard, The Guardian, This Day, and definitely The Nation. Well, let's see what seems to be happening on The Nation. But The Punch is where we're starting right there. And the leading story on The Punch this morning, Afenifere, Northern leaders demand state police, or rather state police amid delays. And right after that, federal government defense delays, security reforms undergoing due process, framework with states, and Afenifere, Middlebelt Forum and Pan Niger Delta insist state policing overdue. Northern leaders press for action. But you can get more of that action on page 2 of The Punch. Let's quickly go to the topmost side of The Punch this morning. Jonathan blames betrayal for 2015 election loss. It's a major one on page 12. Oshun Algon, challenges CBN over local government account signatories. And you can get more of that story also on page 2. A new party seeking INEC registration surged to 171. Wow. It's a major story on page 3. Federal government seeks fresh $1.75 billion World Bank loan. And page 15 has that story. I know the critics will come out against the government, knowing that they said we're done borrowing from domestic points, but it looks as if we're going for international lenders. But anyway, that's the much you can take right there on the top mass of The Punch. Let's see if we have some other major stories just beneath the picture of the day. And indeed, a lot seems to be there. Train derailment sparks NRC, that's Nigerian Railway Corporation reorganization. And organize yourself with that on page 15. Panic as 5 bodies found along Lagos River bank. It's a sad story on page 4 and 5. CBT, WAEC mandates 250 computers, CCTV for schools. It's another one on page 23. But the picture of the day is just that of celebration at different countries, Iran, Egypt, and Yemen, and Palestine, during yesterday's celebration of the birth of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And that's the much you can take right there on The Punch.
Yeah, let's see what the nation has for us this morning. The major story here reads, Nigerian politics full of liars. betrayers, says Jonathan. And the writer says it's difficult to see somebody who will say the same thing in the morning and in the evening. That's a lot.
A lot of words coming from former
All right,
president.
so that's you can read that full story on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Let's see, just at the top of the top story, military steps up battle against terrorists to secure farmers. Page 3 has more of that story. Yes, Tinubu meets Ibas ahead. Tinubu meets Ibas ahead end to Rivers emergency rule. And the writer says, President off to France, UK on 10-day working vacation. Well, that story is on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Let's see what the top mass has for us. Federal government weighs funding options for health sector. That is on page 3 of the Nation newspaper. Local contractors to receive payments from Monday. Wow, that's on page 4. Shetima, president committed to diversification of economy. That's on page 4. Council workers donate 10 million naira for Oyebanji's re-election. That's on page 3. Let's see if what we have on the bottom mass. Yeah, Olawepo Hashim support groups resurrecting PDP zoning regressive. I will contest for president. That's the writer to the story. And it's on page 2 of the paper. Italian fashion designer Giorgio Armani dies at 91. Wow. Well, it's a fulfilled life, I can see.
Yeah, and I know he made a whole lot of lovely clothes in life
exactly.
that he'll be remembered for.
Yeah, so that's on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Troops foiled 545.8 million naira oil theft. That's on page 3 of the Nation newspaper. So the picture of the day is that of a farewell scene at the airport with the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and several officials before his foreign trip. Well, that's all we're taking on the Nation this morning. Let's see what the Guardian has for us this morning. The major story here reads, how bias for sports entertainment reinforces school scam myth. Well, that story is also the major picture of the day, and it's a big story on pages 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Let's go to the top mass. Tinubu embarks on 10-day working vacation in Europe, and that's on page 3 of the paper. 80 million Nigerian youths jobless, 1,500 schools shut in 2 years, says reports. That's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. World Health Organization, African Union taxed Nigeria on 2001 declaration, a 20% public health spending. Well, that's on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. Let's go to the bottom mass. Police summon El Rufai ADC leaders for alleged conspiracy. That's on page 6 of the papers. Retired soldiers protest lacks merit, defense headquarters insists. Well, that's on page 28 of the Guardian newspaper. ADC Audu Obi faults Tinubu's fiscal triumphs as cruelty over compassion. That's on page 6 of the paper. Oshun Association of Local Governments of Nigeria accuses the Central Bank of Nigeria of sabotaging the local government's payments. Well, that's on page 7 of the paper. 70% of telecom downtime linked to energy issues. Well, that's a business story on page 18 of the Guardian newspaper. So that's all we're taking this morning on the Guardian. Let's see what this day has for us today. The major story here reads, Jonathan, Nigerian politics is full of traitors and liars. The writer says, they will tell you something, the next hour they are saying another. Says he has witnessed a lot of betrayals. I think most of the papers this morning covered this.
To be screaming out that loud.
Yeah, so
and it's more like in preparation of whether he will definitely come as PDP candidate for the presidency in 2027.
Well, that's on page 10 if you want to know more about that story. Yes, just slightly above the top story, police summon ex-Kaduna Governor El Rufai orders for disturbance of public peace. That's on page 10 of this day newspaper. Let's go to the top mass. CBN replacing civil servants with APC members as local government's account signatories, says Osun Association of Local Governments of Nigeria. The writer says demands urgent investigation. Well, to read more of that story, you have to go on page 10 of this day newspaper. Giorgio Armani, iconic Italian fashion designer, dies at 91. That's on page 6 of this day newspaper. Let's see if we have more. Yes, Tinubu departs Abuja for 10-day working leave in Europe, and that's on page 10 of this day newspaper. Let's see what we have for the picture of the day. That's more of a formal meeting at the World Health Organization headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, yesterday. So that's all we're taking this morning on this day newspaper. Up next is the Vanguard.
And on the Vanguard, opposition mounts against federal government 5% tax on petrol and diesel. Right after that, stakeholders push against Tinubu 5% fuel tax. Will mobilize Nigerians against it. JAF vows why Tinubu 5% fuel tax should wait, says Peter Obi. 5% petrol tax, a cruel burden on struggling Nigerians, says the ADC. But I'll say you go read that story up on page 5. And remember, we might just trend it later on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, police, let's see if we go to the top mass side of the Vanguard this morning. Police invite El Rufai ADC leaders over alleged conspiracy incitement. It's a major one on page 8. And we will not allow APC win 2027 polls. Ambassador Yisa is screaming out that loud on page 14. Well, Osun local government crisis are gone. APC disagree over signatories to account with CBN. It's another major one on page 10. Federal government makes tax identification mandatory for banking and allied service. It's a major one on page 19. But let's see if we can take some other majors, but just beneath the picture of the day. Well, definitely we'll go. And the major screamer right there is 2027 restructuring zoning is regressive, and Hassan supports group. And one of consequences as Hassan vows to contest presidency. And well, I'll just implore you to take more of that story on page, well, that should be page 27, sorry, rather. And talking sports, Super Eagles focused on Amavabi, not Bafana. And Ekong seems to be telling us that, but I just hope they do so. And let's see how I can qualify. But I'm now qualified to take the picture of the day. And that is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as he departs for his annual leave. Yesterday, well, do forgive my laugh because, well, anyway, do we have leave? But anyway, you can see some major dignitaries right there, like that of the finance minister and also the secretary to the government of the federation and our governor, someone who yesterday when they went to tell Baba, bye-bye, I will see you later. But anyway, that's the much you can take from the Vanguard and also all the papers. What we'll do now is employ you to go grab a copy of any that fancies your interest, read up and get abreast with what seems to be happening. But what I know is happening, you're still right here on Viewpoint, and dialogue will be next right here on Viewpoint.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor Adi.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom. Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. culturally inclined and uniquely different. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Go.
On me where I did, on me where I did. On me where I did, on me where I did. No matter where you go, no place be like home. Beware. No place like our home.
Go.
Ogbowura Pharmacy and Toshotonre Executive Bajo Ìṣẹ̀kírí Youth and Tuolus Gbogbonaso Dọ́pẹ́ Gbẹ́rẹ́. Ọpẹ́ pàtàkì rẹ̀ nípàdé ọ̀daràn ní ààyè ẹ̀kọ́ ṣe gbẹ́nẹ́. Why does a man, then a marry as an edge, and a mark as a tank manager who can't put to our dinner, or Panoka never Darrow, or Gamet, or Bow, Performance, or was a better of a man, or what talk by now. Or Satana do one is a key way, or some way, or what when I did the careful. And then they don't go away, and then Mammy and then again, what wants to share like this a kilo of one. And they were name. Not for the war for not during the inauguration in there. They were the Nakino there, where we never truly and truly. Ogame, Doctor, do work by no shake by the barrel, those are the panic or Tony and those are panic by Doctor Nakete Bano, Ishakiro, wow, Ogame, and a doctor, Ogame,
Ugeoyokoro TV. Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Barely 17 months after President Tinubu administration first expressed interest in establishing a decentralized police force, several socio-political groups, civil society organizations, and ex-servicemen and women have intensified calls for its implementation. This followed Tuesday meeting between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and other major citizens of Katsina State, where he stated that the federal government will hasten the devolution of power to the subnational levels and better equipped police force that he talked about the Forest Guard. President Tinubu told them that he was reviewing all aspects of security and have to create a state police. It will be recalled that all 36 states have submitted reports on the creation of state police, but the National Executive Council have delayed full implementation and discussion on the issue 3 times. According to the National Human Rights Commission, at least 2,266 people were killed in the first half of 2025, more than double the 1,063 deaths recorded during the same period in 2024, and already surpassing the total of 2,194 for the whole of last year. And analysts say the security vulnerability have increased, particularly in areas where the national police are so overstretched or inaccessible. But the question still remains, will it not be faced with the same issue as the national police, and that is lack of funding and a lack of training? And also, will state police indeed help to deal with the issues that seems to befall us? Well, this and more is what this edition of Dialogue is centered on, and is the issue of the creation of state police. And that's what we're having as a major one discourse today on the Dialogue. And we're talking about the issue that seems to be trending on the political space, and is the issue of the creation of state police. You could still remember just day before yesterday, the president emphasized that he's thinking about the need to create it and the need for us to talk about it. Well, that's what we're having as a major discourse today, and to help us really throw more light on this lovely discussion, we're being joined by no other person but Comrade Clement Ndukwe, and he's a member of the Spotify Foundation all the way from Abuja. Comrade Clement, can you hear me? Good morning and welcome to the Dialogue on Atlantic TV. Hello? Okay, we'll try and see how we can connect back to Comrade Clement Ndukwe, as he'll be giving us a breakdown of what he feels, and that is the creation of state police. If you also do know, in major papers today, especially on the Punch newspaper, it was highlighted that growing call seemed to resonate around the creation of state police with the socio-political groups like the Afenifere, and also that of the Middle Belt Forum, and also PANDAF, are all insisting that it's about time that the state police should be created. And let's see how we can also see the advantage and disadvantage in that very creation. Like I said, that's what's taking center stage on the show today. And let's see if we're now being joined by our guest all the way from Abuja. Okay, looks as if we're having difficulties in that connection, but we'll see what we can do to bring him on board. But what I feel we need to do now is quickly go on the break, and when we come back, we'll definitely dive deep into the discourse as we try to extract, is it going to be a thing that is fixable, looking at the huge fund that will be needed, especially with some states struggling with even the payment of the minimum wage of 70,000 naira, or do you think it's a dream that is realistic? Well, all of that will take center stage.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Well, yes, we needed to go on that break, and we need to pay some commercials. But we're back with it, and it's still the dialogue right here on Atlantic TV. My name is Mike Egobadia. Like I said, we're still talking about the issue of the creation of state police and how that seems to be growing loud by the day, especially after that declaration by no other but President Bola Ahmed Tinubu just a day before yesterday, insisting that, well, it's about time that very view seems to come into light. But is it a dream in the pipeline, or do you feel that dream will be a reality, and especially deal with the mounting problem that the country seems to be facing as it concerns security? But like I said, we're really secure now, and we've gotten him online. And we're talking of no other person but our guest all the way from Abuja. And I'm talking about Comrade Clement Ndukwe. He's a member of the Potiphar Foundation right here in the country. Hello, Mr. Clement. Comrade Clement, can you hear me?
Yeah,
hello?
I can hear you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Comrade Clement.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, it's nice to have you join us. So,
thank you so much, my brother. Thank you.
Yes, I'll just go straight to our discourse today, and we're talking about the issue of creation of state police. Now, there have been growing call for the creation of state police, especially after the report from the National Human Rights Commission, where it was stated that this year alone, we've lost about 2,266 persons, which far surpasses the same persons that were killed in the corresponding year of 2024, which was just in 1,063, and even surpasses the whole of persons that were killed last year, which amounted to just 2,194. So there's no surprise that this growing call seems to be loud coming from Nigerians because of the growing insecurity in the country. But irrespective of that, I'm a bit curious to know where you stand as it concerns the creation of state police. Do you support this move now being thinked, or rather being put in the pipe by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or do you feel it's something that we do not need now and we're not ripe enough for it?
Okay, yes, thank you very much. It's a privilege to also on the issue of police. The truth is that everything that has merit, we always have as governments that care for the people, that care for the government, that care for, and that also care for of the people. You have to take cognizance of the merit. Merits are more than the merit, and then which means, and in this case of state policing, I think we as a state, we are not ripe for it because there are a lot of demerits. If you agree, I don't think development, at least for the moment.
We know the national police is too centralized to manage localized security, and this has indeed affected a whole lot as it concerns the creation of state police. But don't you feel it's about time we also think towards it, knowing that the national police has now been stretched too thin, and we're not having enough policing the people that naturally should be policed by the police. So my question, would this not be a very valid point for those that are in the argument that it's time we have the state police, knowing that the national police already stretched thin? Hello? Comrade Clement Ndukwe, I hope you got my questions.
Question, the network is breaking at the
Oh, okay, let me restate it again. I said we know the national police, we're talking about our federal police, is already stretched thin. They're already being faced with a whole lot of challenges. They seem to be in everywhere, every state of the federation. And in recent time, we've seen more killings on account of the lack of police being there. So my question, is that not a valid point in the creation of state police, that they seem to be inadequate in dealing with the security challenges of the whole entire nation? So we need more hands, especially as it concerns more policing, especially as it concerns the creation of state police. And we'll see how we can really bring him back. And we're talking about Clement Ndukwe. And let him really have to answer most of those questions that is indeed affecting the country as it concerns the creation of state police. And we're still looking at, is it something that is feasible? Oh, okay, I guess he's back with us. Comrade Clement Ndukwe, I hope you got my question.
I'm with you now.
Yeah.
Yes, I got the question. You are trying to know if the
need for us to have more, and that's why the creation of state police is needed.
I don't think the solution to the insecurities being experienced in this country, calls for the state, the creation of state police. It's all about professionalism. It's all about trying to build. You know, if the government actually care, they should be able to build a more formidable police force by, implementing some cogent policies that were able to strengthen the force. I think that's what we should be calling out for, and not necessarily for state, because I don't think this is the right time, for the right time for the call such a sensitive issue that has to do, like sensitive issue, that is state policing. And why I said so is because, the tension in the country now is high. I mean, the political tension. And I don't think it is the right time, even though we may be due. With some school of thought have actually said that we are due for state policing, but I don't also think this is the right time to call for state policing.
Time. And time is where I want us to look at now. You talked about time. Now, looking at the time, is it not time that state executives, and we're talking about the governors, should handle the security architecture of their state holistically? Now, a very clear example is that of the Zamfara state governor, Ahmed, when he said he knows where these bandits terrorizing his states are, but he does not have the power over the security agencies to go after them. And he feels when that power is given directly to him, he can deal with the issues. So is that not also a valid point, that when these state executives have the total power to control these security agencies, they can go and deal with the contending problem affecting them? So because you talked about time, so is it not time we have state executive officers, who are the governors, having the required security architecture to deal with the problems?
The network is breaking. I can't really hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. I'm asking, is it not time that we allow state governors handle the security architecture of their state hence the need for creation of state police. Like I said, the Zamfara state governor just only on Monday came out to tell us that he knows where the bandits terrorizing his states are. And if he's been allowed to handle the security architecture of his state, he will go after them. So because you talked about time, and that's why I'm talking, is it not time now for us to let all of these be handled by the state executive, who are the number one security officers of their state?
Can't hear anything anymore, please.
Well, it looks as if we're really having issues as it concerns the connection, and we just really want to get more as it concerns this awesome discussion. And we're talking about the issue of the creation of state police and how that seems to be on the front burner of the state. And like I said, or rather in the country, we still have no other person but Comrade Clement Ndukwe joining us all the way from Abuja, and hence you understand the issues of the network. But I guess he's back with us, and so let's see if we have an answer to that very question, because he talked about time, and I feel it's time we also have an insight into how he feels. Let's see if we have him back, and he answers that question. I guess you got my question correctly.
I couldn't hear it properly. It was cracking.
Okay. Now I'm talking about, should we not allow state executive control the architecture of their states? That's the security architecture of their states. Okay, it looks as if we're really having issues with the connection, and you do know the distance seems to be there, but irrespective, looking at state police and its creation is fundamental, especially as it concerns more of the challenges we are facing. But I guess as much as we're doing this, it's still interesting that we look at all issues, and we guess he's back with it, and he'll be giving us an insight into it. But I'll please, hello, Comrade Clement, did you get me now? Okay, we'll try and see how we can better connect with him. And when we do that, we'll definitely bring him on board to give us his own view as it concerns this discussion. But I'll just implore you that we need to still go on a break, and we'll try and see how we can reconnect and then get him on board to give us an insight to all the questions we're asking today on Dialogue.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor Edi.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife Naija Celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom. Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Well, we need to welcome you back, and we'll just try to see how we can reconnect and get a better connectivity with our guests all the way from Abuja. Well, in case you're joining us, we're still talking about the issue of the creation of state police and how that seems to be valid, especially with the recent call and the growing agitation for that creation. And that's why we're still having this discussion. Well, like I said, we're still being joined by no other person but Comrade Clement Ndukwe. He's of the Podify Foundation right there at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Hello, Comrade Clement. Can you better hear us now?
Yes, I can better. I've changed position a little, so I think you can hear me better now.
Well, anyway, that's the country, and we're trying to see how it can grow and get more better connection, especially as it concerns issues. So let's just quickly return back to our discourse. Now, we're talking about the issue of the creation of state police, and I'm asking, is it not time that to allow state executive, and we're talking about governors, control the security of their state? Like I gave an example of Zamfara State Governor when he said he knows where the bandits are, that he has total control of the police. He will go after them. So is it not time we allow it happen on that vivid point?
Nigeria as a state, we are due for state policing.
Okay.
But there are hiccups to it. What I call political bottlenecks to it. The time that we are calling for it now is a wrong time. We will need to tell ourselves the truth. That is if we actually want this country to go forward. Because, you know, the urgency at which this state police is now coming, we've not been able to exhaust, you know, our, open this matter of state policing to public scrutiny, you know, public hearing, public debate, to sample the opinions of stakeholders and all that. So I don't know what the hurry about it is about. You know, if a common Nigerian like myself, I'm beginning to.
Hello, Mr. Clement. Hello.
I'm just talking as a Nigerian.
Okay. Yeah.
But you made reference to the Zamfara State, Zamfara State governor, you know, talking about knowing where bandits are. It's not the first time, you know, a governor is saying such in the northern region about the banditry in his domain. Now, that is a pointer to the fact that there is insecurity in the country. And I don't think rushing to create state police is actually going to solve the insecurity problems we have in this country. What I think is that the police force is expected to be beefed up by virtue of, implementing some policies, installing some, instilling some level of professionalism into the Nigerian police force system. That is what I think. like I told you when we were starting this program, I said the demerits are more than the merits. As it stands now in this country, the demerits of instituting a state police is more than the merits. Because we have seen where governments have taken a little power, governors take little power given to them, they usurp it, and they use it, as vendetta over their opposition. So that is my take about it.
Okay, now, still looking at your take, you talked about the issue of governors misusing this creation of state police. But don't you also feel if there's enough legislative framework to help organize the state police, all of that excessive power that most people are scared that governors will use against the opposition will not be there? And the reason I'm asking this, remember, even before the coming of Nigerian independence, we had state police. They used to call them native police. We even had 3 police tier in the country, and the country was going well. We still had regional heads controlling teams, and they were not using these powers against their perceived opposition. So don't you feel if there's a legislative framework to really organize the creation of this state police, all of that fear, all of that abuse being fueled by state governors will not be there?
Hello, I didn't get your question. I can't hear you.
Okay, now, let me rephrase my question. Don't you feel that if we have legislative framework organizing the creation of state police, abuse by governors will not be there? Hello, Comrade Clement. Well, we're still having issues with the network. We'll see how we can reconnect back to him. But the question still remains, is the merits more than the demerit as it concerns the creation of state police? Remember, you can also join us on the discourse, on dialogue. You can go to our different social media platforms. Let's get your questions, as we really address them to our guests all the way in Abuja. And like I told you, he's joining us all the way from Abuja. We're still having connection issues, but all of that will be resolved as we try to see if we have a better connection right there. Okay, he's back with us, and let's quickly go back to him and see if he'll give us his view as it concerns that very question. Comrade Clement, can you now hear me? Okay, we're really having a lot of issues. Hello, Comrade Clement. Did you get my question? Well, it looks as if we're having connection issues in the Federal Capital Territory. Well, quite sad. But we really love to get him to really help us address those questions. Hello, Comrade Clement.
For me, I can't hear you. I can't even hear.
But can you hear me now?
Yes, I heard the last one. Can you hear me now? Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you the question.
No, it's cracking.
Okay. Well, it's more like connection.
I hear you in beats. You just pick it up.
Yeah,
I hear you once and I won't hear again.
We'll just implore you to see if you can get a better place.
The glitch is too much.
Okay, the glitches are much. We can hear you perfectly well. That means the connection is at your point, and that's where the problem seems to be. But is it any better now?
No.
Oh. Well, it's really, really sad because we would have loved to.
I can just hear you in beats.
Okay, let's see if we can manage on that.
Let's see if we can manage here and then I won't hear again.
Okay, let's see if we can manage.
So I can't actually get you talking properly.
Okay, you talked
so you
about.
Can hear me.
Yeah, I can very well. Yeah, you talked about state police being abused by governors. If we have the respective legislative framework, will all of that not solve the issue?
Well, I can't really hear you. He's jumping and his glitches are just coming and going. But let me just make my point clear. Since you say you can hear me very well, and if you can hear me, I also believe that the audience, out there can also hear me. So let me just do a little summary.
Okay.
Now the abuse of the state governors in instituting this state police policy It's just one of the other many challenges that we may be facing. There are other areas that we should be looking at, not just the potential, abuse of power. No, we'll talk about the inconsistency in policing. For example, we have different states. Different states with their varying, level of training, equipment, professionalism. It will vary. And then you now begin to hear word of this is Osun State Police Command. This is Osun State Police Command. This is Delta State Police Command. This is Abuja. This is Lagos. And then you see that it varies by virtue of capacity. Some states will have the capacity to have professional training. Some may not have the wherewithal. Some may not be able to afford, where funding comes in, afford, equipment, afford professional training, a lot of other things that follow. So funding is important. Some states may not have the financial resources to adequately fund and maintain a police force, leading to inefficiencies. So these are parts of the things to be looking at. We are looking at the risk of politicizing this situation. You can politicize it. You say because the ruling party is, the governor is from a member of the such ruling party, and then you can use it in subsequent. Even now that we are not even having state police, you will see that you agree with me that we're not matured for it, and then you will see that. Hello, are you with me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
That is where you will now see that opposition political parties, will be suppressed the more. Even now that we are operating the centralized system of policing, you see that even the state governors, they're also usurping power. They're also trying to use it as a tool or, as a weapon against the opposition, suppressing them. And you see, this thing is going to worsen. So that is why I said initially that for such policy to come into play, firstly, you need to engage the stakeholders. There need to be a reorientation. What are the interests? What are the merits? What are the demerits? You bring it up in a professional, to the, police force, and also to the populace, so that we will not abuse it. You're also talking about the legislative arm, having to, put in some policies in place to checkmate and all that. Well, I have to tell you, you have to be sincere to ourselves as Nigerians. You know that most of these state legislative arm of government are just, I'm sorry to say, appendages of the executive system, the executive arm. They are appendages. Majority of them, they are just rubber stamp. So what are we going to experience? Are you also going to experience the governor, buying them over, for them to do his bidding? It's not going to be worse under them. That is where the orientation calls for. So the urgency at which the federal government is going about this thing calls for questioning. That is my take on it. So there are a lot of lacunas, a lot of things that we need to, put in place, a lot of, high that we need to dot, and a lot of things that we need to cross.
Well, thank you so much.
You have heard me, sir.
Yes, we heard you loud and clear, and you're giving us what your fears are as it concerns the creation of state police. What are the hurdles we might likely experience as it concerns the creation of state police? We need to thank you so much. And we're talking about no other person but Comrade Clement Ndukwe. He's a member of the 45 Foundation International, all the way in Gwarimpa, Abuja. We thank you for joining us. Well, that's more like the discussion we've set for today on the platform. I'm talking about dialogue. We're talking about the issue of the creation of state police, and that how has been having a loud demand, especially in recent time. Just like what we saw in the papers today, a whole lot of socio-political groups are already pushing for its creation. But the question remains, why the quick move now to have it created? Is it that there's a political undertone, just as our guest seems to believe, or is it being pushed by the issue of insecurity or growing insecurity that seems to have been bedeviling us in the last couple of months? But all of that is still on the table, and I'll implore you to also add your voice to the discourse. Let's get your reactions as it concerns this very topic. Send those messages to our different social media platforms. They'll be on your screen later, and you'll just be live with us to really look at these issues. But anyway, that's the much you can have because of the issues of connection. And I'll just plead with you, or rather implore with you to still remain with Atlantic TV, because we still have more to come. Like the news will come around the hour, and definitely this might also be looked at when we trend the issues And Mercy's already gone in more to see how she can add her voice to it. But for me, Michael Gobadia, God willing, we'll have another awesome edition on Monday. But all the same, Baraka de Salah to our brothers, I'm talking to our Muslim brothers and sisters. Do have a nice day.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined, uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
I am SP Dafe Bright and this is Delta State Police Command. Today we'll be treating and addressing an issue that's different from what we've been doing before, not parading suspect this time, but bringing to you a very important information. Do we know that over 85% of Nigerians do password their phones, whether it's Android phones or iPhones? There's always a password. But how come when we lose our phones, by the time we go to retrieve our lines, we'll go to our bank to check our bank statement, we discover that these people who collected these phones must have siphoned the phones. Now, there are times the people who steal these phones, it is not your phone that they actually need. What they need is your SIM card. Now, how does the SIM card become useful to them? Not just any SIM card, but a SIM card that is linked to your bank account, the one that you usually use to receive SMS alerts. That is what they need. Now, by the time they collect your phone, steal your phone, rob you of your phone, what they do is that they remove this SIM card from your phone and insert it on another phone. So your phone does not really need to power on. They don't even need you to give them your phone password. They don't even need your ATM password. The moment they have access to your SIM card, they can do anything they want to do with your bank account, because all they need is to generate an OTP, and the message, the OTP that is called one-time password, will be sent to that your SIM card, and with that they can do anything they want to do with your account. That is why people lose millions of their life savings simply because they lost their phone. By the side of this video, we'll be doing an illustration. You will see an illustration that talks on how you can password your SIM card. Now, the topic that we are here to discuss, passwording of SIM card. When you get a phone, pick that your phone now. See how you can password your SIM card. If you password your SIM card, by the time for any reason, your phone gets to the wrong hand, even if they remove your SIM card and insert on another phone, the first thing that you will get is a prompt that you should enter your SIM PIN. The moment they cannot get the SIM PIN, they cannot use your SIM card for anything. After the trial of 3, the POC prompt will come because the SIM card will be blocked, and you can only unblock that SIM card when you have the POC number. Some of us don't have our SIM pack, because on the SIM pack it is written there the SIM PIN and the POC number. But because some of us don't have our SIM pack, I would advise you to quickly locate the nearest office of your service provider, be it Airtel, Globalcom, or MTN. Approach them and request for your POC number. Once you've gotten your POC number, you follow these instructions and ensure that you password your SIM PIN. your SIM pin is very, very important. On my phone, for instance, once you turn off the phone and you turn it back on, you must enter your SIM pin. If you cannot enter your SIM pin, the SIM card will be useless. And I'm telling you, once they cannot have access to your SIM card, your money will be safely in the bank. They cannot have access to. There was a time I lost my phone, and it took me about 2 weeks to go to MTN office to retrieve my SIM card. Why did I wait 2 weeks? Because I knew I had a SIM pin. I knew they would not have access to my bank account. I knew they cannot even use my SIM card for anything. Some of these people, when they steal phone, we'll be hoping that, we'll track the phone. Some of them don't even sell the phone. They will just condemn the phone and just get the SIM card to see if they can have your money. Please, they say a word is enough for the wise. It is very, very important. Don't see this video and just pass it by. Watch this video to the end. We're almost approaching the end of the video. Ensure that you take the lesson. Please password your SIM card. They say a stitch in time save nine. It's very, very important. Make haste when the sun shines. Not be to call. You don't have to start running and start saying, what do I do? What do I do? When you can prevent it. Let's not forget, prevention, they say, is better than cure. Thank you.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined, uniquely different.
Go.
On me where I did, on me where I did. On me where I did, on me where I did. No matter where you go, no place be like home.
Ó wá ṣàgbẹ́rẹ́ bàbá ó wá tó ọgbẹ́ náà ọ̀sán tó náà gbé wá níṣẹ́ kí ìwé ọ̀sánwé ó wá tó náírà dédé kẹfọ́ ẹnẹ tó ń gbówé ẹnẹ lé mẹ́mí ẹnẹ nígi ẹnẹ wá bí wọ́n ṣuṣẹ́ gbàgbé ìṣẹ́ kí ìrọ̀ wá ẹnẹ wà rẹ̀yìn lọ́pọ̀ tẹ̀lé bí wọ́n fọ̀ lọ́jí inauguration nìyẹn ìwé tẹ̀lé kí náà jẹ́ ìwé ẹ̀wọ̀n náà wá tó ní ìdúró ní ó gẹ́mẹ̀ ẹ̀dọ́gbẹ́ tó wá gbà ní oṣù gbà nígbà rẹ ló sọ ìgbà nígbà tó rẹ àdédé ló sọ ìgbà nígbà yà rẹ tó ní kété gbẹ náà iṣẹ́ kí ìrọ̀gbà o ó gíàmẹ ẹnẹdọgba o ó gíàmẹ
Ogeoyo. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Alright, my name is Des Soka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor Edi.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife Naija celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom. Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Good day and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I am Michael Gobadia. Here are the top stories. Tinubu orders mandatory health insurance for all ministry departments and agencies. Tinubu, my reforms restore Nigerians' global respect. Revenue feat sparks political firestorm as APC and opposition clash over Tinubu's claim. And police redeploy ex-PRO Adejobi as DCP Operations Delta Command. On the foreign scene, Trump pushes a Supreme Court for fast-track ruling on tariffs. And on sport, FIFA clears a Free State Stadium for Nigerian South Africa World Cup clash. Now to the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed all ministries, departments and agencies to implement compulsory health insurance in line with the National Health Insurance Act 2022. The move is aimed at ensuring universal health coverage for Nigerians and enforcing compliance across government institutions. A statement by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, confirmed that the Secretary to the Government of the Federation had been instructed to issue a circular making health insurance mandatory for all MDAs. The directive covers 5 key areas, including mandatory enrollment for all government employees under the NHIA plan, compulsory health insurance certificate for companies bidding for contract, and a digital verification platform to check compliance. All MDAs must enroll their employees in the NHIA plans. Entitles participation in public procurement must present valid health insurance certificate as a precondition for engagement. Bayo Onanuga said to the President, with this directive, health insurance is set to become a central requirement for government workers, contractors, and business nationwide, signaling a new phase in the health or Nigerians' healthcare reform drive. Business seeking government licenses, permit, or renewals must now also present valid NHIA health insurance certificate. The President said these will not only ensure accountability, but also guarantee wider access to healthcare for Nigerians. Away from that, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says his administration bold reforms have restored Nigerians' respect in the global arena. The President declared that the economy is now stabilized and drawing international attention. Speaking while receiving the son of Ogbomosho Oba Gidi Olaoye Orumogege III and other royal fathers in Abuja, Tinubu compared the economy to a patient that had survived a critical surgery. He said years of neglect, smuggling, fake records, and corruption has undermined Nigerians' financial stability until his administration took decisive action The president credited prayers, perseverance, and patience of Nigerians for the progress recorded in the last 2 years. With bleeding, or rather, the bleeding has stopped, hemorrhage is gone, the patient is alive with your prayers, patience, and perseverance. I'm glad to tell you today that the economy is stabilized, says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. President Tinubu thanked the visiting monarch for recognizing the bold step his administration took from the onset, insisting that Nigeria is back on track and earning respect across the globe. Tinubu highlighted the creation of Nigerian Education Loan Fund, saying no student will drop out of school due to poverty. He stressed that education remains the greatest weapon against poverty, while also reaffirming his administration's aggressive push on infrastructure. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's announcement that Nigeria has already achieved its 2025 revenue target has sparked sharp political reactions. While the ruling All Progressive Congress hails it as a proof of economic recovery, opposition parties dismiss the claim as empty celebration amid widespread hardship. On Tuesday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu told founding members of the defunct Congress for Progressive Change and the Buhari organization that the economy has stabilized, crediting non-oil revenues for the breakthrough. The economy is now predictable. Nobody is trading pieces of paper for foreign exchange anymore, the president said. Through his special advisor, Bayo Nanuga, but the opposition Labour Party, African Democratic Congress, New Nigerian People's Party, and the CUPP strongly disagree, saying citizens continue to endure inflation, unemployment, and record poverty levels. The government may celebrate a rising revenue, but Nigerians are trapped in worsening poverty and insecurity. The figures mean little if they do not translate to relief at the grassroots. The APC insists the reforms are working and will soon bear fruit, but opposition parties argue that the hardship on ordinary Nigerians prove otherwise. For now, Tinubu's revenue claim remains a lightning rod in Nigerians' heated economic and political debate. They accuse the president of governing by statistics while millions face daily hardship triggered by subsidy removal and foreign exchange reforms. Economists also raised doubt pointing to the ongoing borrowing by the Debt Management Office and the central bank, despite claims that government has stopped borrowing locally. The Nigerian police force has redeployed its former spokesperson, Olumuyiwa Adejombi, to the Delta State Command as Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations. Adejombi, who until recent served as the first public relations officer, was decorated with his new rank following approval by the Police Service Commission. The force headquarters described the posting as strategic, noting that it places him at the heart of operation in one of Nigeria's most sensitive commands. The redeployment, authorities clarified, was not punitive, but part of routine posting and promotion within the police force. The deployment is a normal directive or procedure. DCP Adejobi's professionalism, commitment, and service excellence made him a natural fit for these crucial operational responsibilities, says the Nigerian police force. With this new assignment, Adejobi is expected to bring his wealth of experience to strengthening security operations in Delta State. Senior officers say Adejobi's background in communication, operational management, and community policing makes him a natural fit for his new role. They also dismiss media speculations of a controversial removal as force PRO. The Bayelsa State Police Command has launched a manhunt for 4 young women accused of assaulting, cyber-stalking, and attempted murder in Yanagwa. The case has sparked outrage after a viral video of the incident surfaced online. Police spokesperson Musa Mohammed confirmed the investigation followed a petition from 19-year-old Miss Nancy Wilfred, who alleged she was lured, assaulted, and humiliated by her friends under the guise of picking up her clothes. The incident, which occurred on August the 29th, drew condemnation from women's groups, civil society, and public figures, including Dr. Helen Bob, an activist, very dark man, who offered a 2 million naira bounty for information leading to the suspect's arrest. Appropriate measures are ongoing to apprehend the vicious citizens who carried out the callous act on the helpless young lady, says the Bayelsa State Police Command. For now, police continue their manhunt as calls grow louder for justice for Nancy, whose case has become a rallying point against gender-based violence in Bayelsa State. The police commissioner, Aluyime Francis Idu, assured that the culprits will be brought to justice while urging the public to stop circulating the disturbing images, warning that they could further traumatize the victim. Let's go on a break, and when we come back, more news as it concerns business, sports, and more.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. In Abuja, discharged Nigerian soldiers resumed protests over unpaid entitlement. The ex-servicemen who had earlier suspended their demonstration following assurance from government officials said promises made to them were never fulfilled. The protesters convened on the Ministry of Finance headquarters, accusing the authorities of neglect. They insist that despite assurances from the Ministry of Defense and Finance to settle their dues by August the 10th, nothing has been paid. One of the protests, popularly known as Mama G, told reporters that they were forced back to the streets after previous commitment yielded no result. We are here because the promises made to us were never fulfilled. We had no choice but to return to the street. This time around, the protests will be massive, says Mama G, the ex-soldier. As of the time of filing this report, the Ministry of Defense, the Defense Headquarters, and the Ministry Pension Board are yet to respond to the renewed protests. The ex-soldiers vowed that this phase of their protests will be massive, citing repeated neglect and broken promises over the years. Similar demonstrations have taken place in Abuja and other cities in the past as the group presses for fair treatment. And on the foreign scene, President Donald Trump administration has asked the United States Supreme Court for an expedite ruling to preserve sweeping tariffs that have unsettled global markets. In a filing on Wednesday, Solicitor General John Saar urged the court to speed up the case, saying it was critical to confirm the president's authority to impose tariff under emergency economic powers. The appeal follows a federal circuit ruling that Trump has exceeded his authority, though the judges allowed the tariff to remain in place until mid-October. The expedite resolution of the case to the maximum extent is fixable, given the enormous importance of quickening confirming the full legal standing of the president tariff, U.S. Solicitor General John Saar. The Supreme Court decision could be sweeping implications for billions of dollars already collected and the future of American trade deals with key partners. Since returning to the presidency, Trump has imposed reciprocal tariff on nearly all trading partners with higher duties on the EU, Japan, Canada, China, and Mexico. Move, he said, are necessary to protect U.S. industries and combat drug trafficking. And still on the foreign scene, tension in the Middle East has escalated further as Israel Defense Minister has vowed to unleash what he called the 10 biblical plagues of Egypt on Yemen's Hutu rebels. This comes after the Iran-backed group intensifying massive or missile strikes on Israel territory. On Thursday, the Israel military confirmed that a missile fired from Yemen struck outside Israel territory, just a day after 2 incoming missiles were intercepted. The Houthis claim responsibility, saying they attacked Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion airport. The Houthis have vowed to escalate their campaign in retaliation for the killing of their prime minister and also senior officials in the Israel strike last week. The Houthis are firing missiles at Israel again, a plague of darkness, a plague of firstborn, will complete all 10 plagues Israel cars, Israel defense minister said. With both sides trading threats and strike, fears are mounting that the conflict could spread even further across the region. Now, since the Gaza war began in October 2023, the rebels have repeatedly launched drones and missile strikes at Israel, claiming solidarity with Palestinians. In response, Israel has struck ports, power stations, and the Sana'a International Airport in Houthis-controlled Yemen. And talking sports, in football, FIFA and CAF has officially approved the Free State Stadium in Bloemfontein, South Africa, to host the highly anticipated World Cup qualifier between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Bafana Bafana of South Africa. There have been uncertainty over the venue with earlier concerns about the pitch condition. But a joint statement from FIFA and CAF confirmed the stadium has now met the required standard after further inspections. The development means Lesotho will also use the venue on September the 5th for their match, or rather home match, before South Africa welcomes Nigeria on September the 9th in what is seen as a do-or-die encounter. Considering the encouraging progress observed on the pitch, both organizations have agreed that the matches will proceed on original schedule at the Free State Stadium. The Nigerian-South Africa clash promises to be a thriller, with the Super Eagles fighting to revive their qualification dream, while the Bafana Bafana aim to tighten their grip at the top of the table. South Africa currently top the qualifying group with 13 points, while Nigeria sits in 4th place with 7 points, needing back-to-back wins against Rwanda and South Africa to keep their World Cup hopes alive. Still talking sports, in South America, Colombia footballer Javi Bolivar has sparked outrage after slapping a female referee, Vanessa Silabos, during a league match. The shocking incident happened in the second half of the clash between Real Aliza Catorilla and Deportivo Quique. The drama unfolded into the 66th minute when Bolivar, already off the pitch, was shown a red card. Before the referee could finally raise the card, he confronted her and struck her across the face, sparking chaos on the pitch. Referee Silabos reacted angrily and had to be restrained, while teammates and officials rushed to defuse the situation. The video has since gone viral, drawing widespread condemnation. Colombia football authorities have now reviewing the case, with Bolivar expected to face a lengthy suspension. Our calls grow for harsher punishment against violence in football, especially towards female officials. Bolivar later issued a public apology on Instagram, insisting he did not intend to hit the referee, but admitted his actions were disrespectful and offensive. He pledged to learn from the incident and avoid repeating such behavior. Well, on that apologetic note, we come to the end of the news on Atlantic TV. You know, you can follow us on our different social media platforms, and if you have any news, you can drop them, and we'll be more than happy to have them. Well, I still remain Michael Gobadia. God bless you. Have a nice day.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor Edi.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, Ninja Celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
As you know, you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide. International.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom. Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Bugo bugo, aramabo jajanado, mama bugo bugo no, aramabo ogere.
Upowe ewaju ara. Era yo ara. Era banje. Ewa ni gun to wa gun ani no. Use na mamugba nini ta wa le mi se. Ọgbọ́n lóye bí yan ta wa le mi se. Bí orin so wa tu ewa bí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó gbà. Era ta fa ewo. Oni bàjẹ́ ọ̀fà ẹ̀ráwẹ̀ ní ara ọdún lẹ́rẹ̀ ẹ̀rá gbogbo lára ẹ̀mí òjì ìkẹ́ ẹ̀ráwẹ̀ tó méjà àwọn pé wọ́n lọ ẹ̀wọ́ àwọn pẹ̀sẹ̀pẹ̀sẹ̀ àwọn kúrò rúrò pàṣẹ gbàjọ níra wé àjàwé wá sàtìláwẹ̀ níra wé ọ̀run wá wájàwé àmàrà ń ṣe àwọn onímíjú ṣe é wọ̀ ní ọ̀rìn só wá túwọ̀ ẹ̀ wá. Apẹ́ ti kẹ́lẹ́kú, Udo ti kẹ́lẹ́kú wá lẹ́ táyé wá ṣẹ́yìn. Ẹ abàjẹ́ lọ́sàgbára. Àwọn wẹ́yìn bá wọn náà wá wé àwọn atúwọ́gbá. Àwọn àjẹtọ̀ kẹrin. Òpò tó lájú wá wé àwọn àwọ̀ ọdún máa pẹ́. Ọ̀rọ̀ orúkọ àwọn alẹ́. Ọ̀rọ̀ orúkọ ẹwà tó alẹ́ gbà. Ó wá yẹ ara. Gbogbo tá a máa wọ̀ gba ṣiṣẹ́ wá kìtì. Kò ṣe wá fọ́dà lọ́gbà. Torí kí à ń bùṣẹ́ ewé bà ṣe ewé. Ọ̀sán ẹwà ṣe tààrà. Lọ́sàgbà rẹ̀. Lọ́sàgbà rẹ̀. Lord Jesus Christ tó ń bẹ̀rẹ̀. Nínú ọjọ́ wé, mo bó ògì àmẹ́ wọ́ fọ́ nára. Tó ṣe olú ti wọrí. Àtúwàṣe òkẹta. Tó ṣe ọlájà Warri Kingdom. Kí òun wá lè lè. Mo gbógun fọ́nkún wá ṣiṣẹ́ fún ara mi. Bí ṣẹ̀kírì ìgbàrẹ̀ lọ́gbà. Ọ̀nà tó ń wéwè gbẹ́ mi. Mo wá rẹ̀ ní. Àṣẹ tó tó àwọ̀fẹ́ wá. Mo wá lè lè. Ara mi délé mo mú búṣẹ́wé. Nkún tí mo ní lédè mo wá gbà ṣe. Dọ́ọ̀sán ìṣèkiri ìgbàwé náà. Gbẹ́ kìtìkìtì gbẹ́ ọmọ ṣọ́ ìṣèkiri dèdè. Mẹ́wàá tí ẹsẹ̀ lóko. Mẹ́wàá gbòfán. Mẹ́wàá lélẹ̀ kọ́ burúkú. Léwèkéwè dédé. Bàbùṣẹ́ mi jẹ́. Wẹ́ẹ̀ bàbọ̀ bọ́là mi jẹ́. Mẹ́wàá ṣùṣekúṣe kẹ́rẹ̀. Tó wá mú àárírọ̀ gbéra mi. Mẹ́wàá gbé sí. Ọ̀nà ìṣèkiri. Ṣìṣìmọ́nà ṣiṣẹ́ wẹ́tẹ̀. Lábí ogé àmẹ́. Lábí ẹ̀kẹ́tẹ̀wé. Àlìwẹ́rẹ̀. Bọ́miwẹ́rẹ̀ dédé. Láàlìwẹ́rẹ̀ tó kù ṣẹgbẹ́ mi. Àlìwẹ́rẹ̀. Ó wá gbé mi sọ̀rọ̀. Omi tó wá lìwẹ́rẹ̀. Ó wá sàmára. Afẹ́rẹ́ tó wá lè wẹ́rẹ̀.
Afẹ́rẹ́ tó wá lè wẹ́rẹ̀.
Ó wá sàmára.
Ó wá sàmára.
Ùṣẹ́ mi dédé.
Ùṣẹ́ mi dédé.
Ó wá rẹ̀ lọ́gbà.
Ó wá rẹ̀ lọ́gbà.
Èrè tó sáwá túwẹ̀ wá.
Èrè tó sáwá túwẹ̀ wá.
Ìbàjẹ́ ìra bá mi.
Ìbàjẹ́ ìra bá mi.
Ùtàn ìra mú mi.
Ùtàn ìra mú mi.
Ayọ̀. Òun wá ṣe tèmi.
Ayọ̀ òun wá ṣe tèmi.
Iṣẹ́ wá ṣe tèmi.
Iṣẹ́ wá ṣe tèmi.
Òtún ara wá ṣe tèmi.
Òtún ara wá ṣe tèmi.
Ẹ̀mí kíkó wá ṣe tèmi.
Ẹ̀mí kíkó wá ṣe tèmi.
Ara níní ilé-igi ara kẹ́ẹ̀ wá ṣe tèmi.
Ara níní ilé-igi ara kẹ́ẹ̀ wá ṣe tèmi.
Ó wá sàgbẹ́ mi.
Ó wá sàgbẹ́ mi.
Òun dólé mi dédé.
Òun dólé mi dédé.
Kẹ̀níkẹ̀dẹ̀.
Kẹ̀níkẹ̀dẹ̀.
Èmi máa gbé sí ógí àmẹ̀.
Èmi máa gbé sí ógí àmẹ̀.
Máa gbé sí ṣẹ̀kírì.
Máa gbé sí ṣẹ̀kírì.
Máa gbé sí ẹ̀kẹ́tẹ̀ ṣẹ̀kírì.
Máa gbé sí ẹ̀kẹ́tẹ̀ ṣẹ̀kírì.
Máa gbé sí àlìwẹ́rẹ̀.
Máa gbé sí àlìwẹ́rẹ̀.
Máa gbé sí ọ̀mìwẹ́rẹ̀.
Máa gbé sí ọ̀mìwẹ́rẹ̀.
Níní tó gbé ẹ̀kẹ́tẹ̀ ìṣẹ̀kírì dúró wé.
Níní tó gbé ẹ̀kẹ́tẹ̀ ìṣẹ̀kírì dúró wé.
Níní tó gbé ógí àmẹ̀ dúró.
Níní tó gbé ógí àmẹ̀ dúró.
Ó wá bẹ́ mi nẹ́.
Ó wá bẹ́ mi nẹ́.
Àlìwẹ́rẹ̀.
Àlìwẹ́rẹ̀.
Ó wá bẹ́ mi nẹ́.
Ó wá bẹ́ mi nẹ́.
Ohun tí máa ń rán ṣe.
Ohun tí máa ń rán ṣe.
Ó wá gbé sí mi.
Ó wá gbé sí mi.
Omi àlìwẹ́rẹ̀.
Omi àlìwẹ́rẹ̀.
Ó wá bò mí.
Ó wá bò mí.
Mo wá ṣiṣẹ́ olóyèyé.
Mo wá ṣiṣẹ́ olóyèyé.
Tirẹ̀ dédé kọ̀kọ̀.
Tirẹ̀ dédé kọ̀kọ̀.
Táwa bá ṣerun lára.
Táwa bá ṣerun lára.
Àrí de èpè wá lè lè mí.
Èpè wá lè lè mí.
Mùkúrú tí máa gbéjúlé.
Mùkúrú tí máa gbéjúlé.
Àwọn gbé sí mi.
Àwọn gbé sí mi.
Èpè wá bẹ́ mi wí náà.
Èpè wá bẹ́ mi wí náà.
Òbí òǹdólé mi dédé.
Òǹdólé mi dédé.
Òǹkúrú mi ẹ̀tẹ̀ máa gbéjúlé.
Òǹkúrú mi ẹ̀tẹ̀ máa gbéjúlé.
Dédé wá gbé sí mi.
Dédé wá gbé sí mi.
Dédé wá yẹ̀ mí ṣí.
Dédé wá yẹ̀ mí ṣí.
Mẹ́wàá nù mọ́dó.
Mẹ́wàá nù mọ́dó.
Lémi máa gbé sí.
Lémi máa gbé sí.
Ọ̀fọ́ tó mọ́ gbà lónú rẹ̀.
Ọlọ́wọ́ tó mọ́ gbà lónú rẹ̀.
Tẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣẹ̀tì mẹ́yìn.
Tẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣẹ̀tì mẹ́yìn.
Iṣẹ́.
Ọ̀gá àgbẹ̀.
Ọ̀gá àgbẹ̀.
Ìwékéwé tá a máa fẹ́ ṣe kẹwàá fún ta mẹ́jọ wá àlẹ́ ní ṣe dàgbà màgé èyí àṣẹ ìjọba
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different. When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, welcome to Trendy on Atlantic TV. And this is where we'll talk about all the trending issues and gist on the internet. My name is Mercy Irabo, and I am not alone here. I have with me Michael Gubadia. And together we'll be talking about all the trending issues and of course give our opinions about them. And for today, Mr. Michael, imagine you're robbed and you call the police and they say, hold on, let's get clearance from Abuja. Well, that's why we're having debates of state police everywhere on the internet. Yeah. But in as much as I feel this is actually a good idea, Mr. Michael, but how do we prevent the state police from becoming another tool for intimidation and abuse?
Well, anyway, that's one of the main positions we had on the dialogue this morning. And just like what our guest said, he feels strongly, just like you feel, that it might be a thing of abuse by, those in authority, especially state governors, who want to use it as a tool to also creep on their opposition. But just like we know, a better legislative framework will really help to navigate all of those murky waters and see how they can make our state police be something that is viable. If you take your mind back to one of the biggest democracy in the world, and which we copy from, which is the United States of America, they do have state police. They don't have county police.
Yes, they do, and that's why it's the United States. I don't think Nigeria is ready for state police. Like, was it last week? We looked on one Elos case in Anambra that had issues with the vigilante. The vigilante is just like the local police, let me put it that way, not even state police. Now, just assume giving this power to a state police, how do you think they will act in that position?
That is what I said initially, having a legislative framework. For example, those vigilantes, like we do know, they've been arrested and prosecuted. Now, if you know that you are a policeman, either state or federal, and if you go contrary to the law, mostly immediately you'll be dealt with and you'll be brought before justice. Then you behave yourself. Even if you have a state executive that will want to make you do otherwise, knowing that the law is answerable to everyone, you behave yourself and you will not want to fall into such.
So are you saying you're actually ready for state police just the same way President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said he is ready for state police? Are you also ready, Mr. Michael?
The only fear I have is the issue of funding. How do we fund a state police when we cannot even fund a federal police when the federation or those in federal seems to have the biggest chunk of revenue coming to the state, federal and local? So that's where the problem lies. The federal government have not been able to fully fund a 377,000 strong police force in Nigeria. Talk less of having states that can barely pay the minimum wage of 70,000 naira now coming to fund security. Security is very expensive, just like education and health. But I feel if we need to get it right, we need to go towards the route.
Okay, I think we also looked at this yesterday on the dailies, and I talked about funding, which you just mentioned. And also I talked about instead of this debate on state police, I feel we should talk more on reforming the Nigerian police force. That is what we need right now, because in as much as we are talking about the vigilante, we've actually we've heard of police brutalization, we've heard of everything happening, even in the federal level. So now tell me, are we supposed to be discussing about state police, or we are supposed to be discussing about reforming the police force? Well,
the discussion of reform on the national police is still something that is a bit debatable, and debatable in the sense that the only constant thing in life is change. And change is reform. You keep reforming, addressing the tooting issues, dealing with them and all of that. And I feel it's a discussion that often supersede that of the creation of state police. It will always be a continuous process on reforms, better training, better positioning, restructuring the national police. But I feel, in all honesty, Nigeria is long overdue for the creation of state police. That's just my views.
That's Mr. Michael's view. So to you watching, do you trust a state police, or you prefer the reforming of the Nigerian police force? Of course, you know, you can engage with us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV. Good news for Nigeria fights against hunger. The United States just approved $32.5 million as aid to support the fight against hunger, food insecurity and malnutrition, especially in vulnerable communities like the southeastern and the northern parts of Nigeria. But the big questions that Nigerians are asking, not me though, is how truly is this money, how truly is this aid supposed to get to the people that are in need of it? Or will it just get lost in between government files? Not me asking though.
Well, and also not me answering though. What we do know is that this is not the first time we've had such funds. That's even why the issue of USAID or USAID has come to a grounding halt, especially coming from the United States of America. When these funds are always misappropriated, they are being stolen by those that normally would. You see, the $32 million even for many is even inadequate in solving the large problem of hunger that is in the land. Just recently, it has been stated that among the 5 countries that will be faced with nothing but hunger, especially for underage children, Nigeria is running a uncomfortable fourth on that 5 list. And it's sad, and I know that's why the United States of America thought of, okay, let's see if we can do something, even if it's that little. But the little is the major problem, just like you said. Will it not go back to the pockets of corrupt political office holders, of corrupt civil servants that naturally should have known what to do, and that's why we're neck deep in hunger? Or would it go to those children in need, especially in the Northeast, that have been ravaged with a whole lot of conflict?
We've actually seen AIDS like this disappear before. You remember the COVID-19 AIDS?
And we're still having people
now we do not even know how those things just grew legs overnight. So I still, well, let's believe in the country this time around. Let's just assume that this will get to the people that need this morning the most. And that's that for that. And of course, when they get it, I will sure update you.
When they get it?
Yes, when they get it, I will update you. So, Mr. Michael, there's this new addition that you start getting on at the fuel pump from 2026. And this time around, it's not biscuito. It's not sweet. It's the government tax, 5% government tax added to every liter of fuel you get. And this will be starting next year. So my question now is, Uncle President, you removed subsidy and now you are adding tax again. We are still trying to battle with the high cost of fuel. And you know the funniest part, Mr. Michael, whenever there's increments in fuel prices, it affects everything, including the transport fares, even food prices will just hike.
Makeup.
Everything will just skyrocket. And you are still trying to, if you really want the country to be better, I feel even fuel, you shouldn't even go close to fuel, because once you add any amount to the fuel, it affects everything in the country. So like this, Mr. Michael, is this a way that, because was it yesterday you were supporting the president when he said that we are actually getting, or we've actually completed the 2025 revenue for the year. So is this one of the ways he wants to actually achieve meeting revenue for the year, even before the end of the year? Is this how he really wants to achieve this?
Well, I doubt this is the best way to go. You know, like you said, and in all honesty, just like what you stated earlier, petrol is the lifeline of Nigeria, both in the international scene because of revenue coming to us, and also when it comes to ordinary lives of Nigerians, fuel is a driving force in dealing with transportation, in dealing with the availability of energy, which is light. Fuel is a talking point. Like you stated earlier, in all honesty, I feel this is a policy that have to be rethought again by this very administration. I feel it's not the best way to go. We should be thinking of dropping the price of fuel rather than increasing it. We're happy that Dangote has come online. His refinery is doing a whole lot. He's even pushing some of those foreign refineries into extinction. But having a 5% tax on petrol, that is the lifeline of ordinary Nigerians, sir, is not the best way to go. It will definitely drive up inflation. It will definitely drive up unemployment. It will definitely drive up insecurity, because more persons will have it in the back of their mind that they need to survive. Survival of the fittest is a natural phenomenon. And adding petrol or fire to the price of petrol is like burning all of us and making us not feel happy.
Okay, so in case you're still getting confused at this point, the 5% tax means that if you buy 10,000 naira fuel, you'll be paying 500 naira, and if you're buying 20,000 naira fuel, you'll be paying 1,000 naira on tax. And that's a lot for the average Nigerian that is still trying to deal with the subsidy on the fuel price. But let's see some of the comments we got on social media. Yes, this is sad because Oyedele was busy condemning Buhari for green tax and sugar tax. Now he believes in forcing fuel tax. The man kept calling out Buhari administration for these taxes during his time. Okay, let's see other comments. They say the economy is stable. I think this person is referring to the statement of the president saying he has met the revenue and the economy of the nation is stable. And this one is just laughing because what exactly is this? How does government move from paying fuel subsidy to taxation of petroleum products needs to be studied for people wanting the best for the citizens. Exactly what I just talked about. This one said, it's after laughing, annoying. It is annoying. Yes, I am supporting you and make Ima on this. It is really, really annoying. And Malo is saying the problem is all the money from every tax will be corner to their pockets as usual. We are in for a most difficult time as a Nigerian. And this one is saying we are looking for more revenues. Please don't stress us. Okay, because you're used to freebies all your adult life. I said they're used to freebies. Okay, I didn't say so though. Almost for a country where the citizens provide for everything, this is going to be extremely burdensome. I hope this doesn't lead to an uprising. The policies are anti-people. Yes, it is, of course. So I think that's all we got on social media. So the people are not really happy. They're not really happy with this, Mr. Michael. And, you know, the government claimed that this will actually fetch the government almost 800 billion as a revenue every year. So, but my question is, do we have to place this burden every time on the average Nigerian? These people are just still battling with the inflation and all of that, and now they have to keep dealing with fuel. This is just terrible, like terrible. I feel they should review this. Yeah. They really need to review this. We can't be paying taxes on fuel again, even after the subsidy removal. Well, that's Mr. Michael. So let's see what we have. Yes, yesterday I saw this footage of ex-soldiers on the streets. Yes, they came out again to protest. Please, let's get the footage.
Who's your coordinator? Do you know them? Huh?
So you can see, Mr. Michael, they came out to protest that they've not been paid their benefits, their pensions, and all their entitlements. So, and this got me a bit worried that if men and women that really put their life on the line for this country are being abandoned, what am I supposed to do?
Well, it's a really terrible one, and it's one that will call on the needed authorities, the Ministry of Defense, the Military Pension Board, and other critical stakeholders as it concerns, so please do the needful. These men paid, most of them paid the ultimate price.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they had colleagues who paid the ultimate price for this great country, and they were in every way ready to also pay the ultimate price on account of the unity and sovereignty of this country. I feel they do not need to be treated in such regard. Please, we just call on the needed authority, do the needful, so that we can have all of these results.
Well, Mr. Michael, why is it that we always having this pension issue? Apart from the soldiers now coming out to protest, we've actually seen different people coming out, like retired people coming out to protest concerning these pensions. Why do we keep having this issue of pension in this country?
It is one that really baffles everybody. I know the reforms as it concerns private pension bodies. I feel government doesn't have anything to do as it concerns the holding of pensions for workers. We have private pension boards, bodies that are saddled with the responsibility of also managing these funds. And I feel that's the way we should think. It brings about more accountability rather than having almost every sector cry about pension. We've had many Nigerians that have seen the early grave. Immediately they get retired, the next thing they start facing is issue of pension. Many of them have died on account of either verification or waiting for pension, while some are still in total distress and disbelief that after serving this country with all they have, they are still being faced with such conditions. But talking about those that will naturally pay the ultimate price for us, I feel is not the right thing.
It's not the right thing at all. So I hope that they get all their pensions and its entitlement, because they've really worked for it. They actually said, now we're person they work in the shop. So they actually deserve it. So I hope they really look to that. So good news for Ebonyi State, Mr. Michael.
Wow.
I don't know why this is sounding like good news to me. Maybe because I've actually dealt with this issue.
Okay.
So starting from 1st of January 2026, the state's government, Ebonyi State government, has banned state land and house agents.
Okay.
So you see why I'm excited, because I've actually dealt with this whole agent, and I really want other states to emulate this man, because I remember when I was in Enugu, Mr. Michael, I was trying to get an apartment, and then you'll see a bed sitter for about, let's say, 200, and then they'll start giving you agent fee, lawyer fee for 700, and I'll be like, am I renting the lawyer, or I am actually renting the apartment? Because why should the money be so outrageous? Like, I feel this thing is one thing that every other state needs to emulate. Even in Delta states, I feel they should ban this whole, in as much as I know that this is actually a source of livelihood for some persons.
Yeah, I know Papa and Bruce will not like this story. But I watch.
But the truth is, it's just too much. It's too much. Imagine trying to even negotiate with house agents, and they would be like, no, it's... And I feel, okay, I heard somebody saying that these agents are even the reasons why houses are even expensive, that they even try to advise landlords, telling them this is the amount people are giving out houses now, so you should actually fix yours too. And so I am happy that they're banning it. Mr. Michael, have you had any experience with house agents?
I've had bitter experience as it concerns it. And sometimes even these agents, they talk with no respect. They make you feel you are not even entitled to the place. Or guy, if you cannot pay our agent fee, there are other persons out there that can. And I feel it's about time that other states should also take a cue from this. Okay, what good does this agent bring to us? No, let's understand. They don't build the houses. They don't maintain the houses. They don't even address issues even when you bring notice to them that, oh, you are the one that brought me here, look at what I'm facing through. So what need are they if they keep extorting, I'll call it extortion in every way, extorting Nigerians on the ground of giving you house? It's not your house. You are eating more than the landlord. This is all about monkey they walk, babu they chop. And I feel it's a bad time. That soup of food is taken away from their table.
Mr. Michael, I've really had bad experiences when it comes to this whole house agents. But in as much, like I said before, that I know it's some people's source of livelihood of just scrapping it entirely.
Well, you might also be right, because a whole lot of persons, like I called the name out now, and I know he might be watching. I'm not calling names. He knows I'm just calling. He understands what I mean. Might not be his son's name. But all I'm saying, yes, there should be a better reform. They should come to the round table of actually sitting down and looking at it. Does it make any sense that Nigerians will now need to go through difficulty in securing accommodation on account of some other person's greed? If you feel you need to help us out in sourcing for a very credible place to do like the Western world would do. Take a very reasonable fee and not an outrageous one.
Okay, Mr. Michael. So have you had this experience of getting a house yourself, like you actually sought for this accommodation yourself, and then they are still asking you to pay the agent's fee, and agreement fee?
But some of the landlords do that. Even if you come on your own accord, they'll tell you, and the agents you will never see. We're talking of just that fee. What of landlord fee, landlady fee, maintenance fee, subcharge fee,
okay, maintenance
drink,
fee is not totally
money.
Bad. But that one is really bad. Imagine I took the whole stress, look for an accommodation, and you're asking me to give to one agent that is just somewhere, maybe drinking at that point while I was under the sun, trying to look for an accommodation. But that's that on the ban. So let me ask you, do you want them to reform this whole agents issue, or just scrap them totally? Of course, you know you can drop your comments in all our social media platforms at Atlantic Media and TV. So our last story for today. Remember the video we talked about yesterday of that teenage girl that was assaulted by her peers? Well, updates, they've been arrested.
Hallelujah.
Finally. So let's see, look at their faces. 3 young girls, Mr. Michael. If you were asked, how old do you think these girls would be? How old?
Well, I look at them as being 18, 19, and barely 20.
I'm not sure anyone is even up to 20 there. Look at them fighting over a guy. You want to kill your fellow lady because of a guy. This is totally bad. Okay, I think we have one footage of one of the girls speaking. Let's hear what she has to say.
Then I asked her, why did you tell Fabi, which is the girl that used to do their 2 braces, that I did Kayamata? Were you there? She said no. I said okay, no problem. I slapped her. She then pushed me. That was how the fight started.
Okay, she actually said that they were high on alcohol. Like she's actually pushing the blame to alcohol, Mr. Michael. And if I should ask, is it something that they should be bold enough to come out to tell the world that we were actually high on alcohol, we didn't know what we were doing?
Now I know why we really have good results when it comes to JAM and WAEC. These children should be thinking of passing either their WAEC or JAM and going to higher institution. Not talking about drinking alcohol and fighting for a man that will most certainly not marry them. I don't understand. This brings us back to the issue of societal value. All of that seems to have eroded on the altar of modernization. What is this? At this age, these are still children. They're not yet developed mentally, physically, and indeed education-wise. Please, we should kick against such. These children, I'll still call them children, should be made to face justice. Yeah. If you are big enough to drink alcohol, if you are big enough to assault a fellow lady, then you should be big enough to go to the correctional facility and serve your time.
Of course, they have to serve their time. They have to, because I think everyone is interested in this particular case, because we've had cases like that before swept under the rug. But this particular one, I'm sure they will never go unpunished. Well, this is where we have to draw the curtain on trending on Viewpoint this morning. And of course, for the week, I know you're excited because it's holiday. And thank God it's Friday. You know how excited I am about Friday. And it's a Salah. So I think when I leave here right now, I'll be going to one of my Muslim friends' house to see what they prepared. And I won't be dropping the location though. I won't, because I know Mr. Michael would want
I've
to
been
go
asking
with
her since morning. She has been telling us.
So I won't drop the location. So once again, this is Mercy Irabo wishing you Barika the Salah.
Well, anyways, I'm Michael Gobadia telling you, do have yourself a lovely weekend. And let's see how we can do this same time, same station. Come next week, Monday, when we'll have another fresh edition. All I will say, remain God blessed and indeed do what's right. Bye for now.